episode of the Trusted Tech Talks podcast. I am joined by two members of the product team from Travel Counsellors, who Maxwell Bond are the exclusive talent partner for. We've got Chris Barker, who's the head of digital products, and we've got Paul Cheers, who is one of the product owners on the team. Travel Counsellors are going through such an exciting journey at the moment. They're at the forefront of a huge digital transformation that includes a huge product transformation and changing the way the business thinks about products. So Chris and Paul are going to be joining us today, talking us through what that looks like, who Travel Counsellors are, kind of what you should expect from a company like Travel Counsellors. We're going to debunk all the misconceptions that you may have about them because they're in the travel industry. It's such a hard time. And by the end of this podcast, you will know everything that you need to know about Travel Counsellors and why they are a business to look out for. So let's get into it, guys. Welcome both to joining me today.
Good morning, Rihanna. How are you?
Yeah, I'm not too bad at all. So this episode is all about you guys. So it's all about Travel Counsellors, and I'm pretty confident if you didn't know who Travel Counsellors were before this, you definitely will know a lot more about them by the end of this episode. So just to sort of introduce you both, I guess Chris, we'll start with you first. What is it that you do at Travel Counsellors?
So I'm head of digital products. That's a very recent role. I've been in the business 3.5 years. I was previously head of digital and customer experience, and I have a marketing background. So my remit is to stand up our first dedicated product team and embed that as a way of working.
Wow, a lot of work to do over the next few months and next few years. It's going to be an exciting challenge, isn't it?
Absolutely.
I wish people could have saw your face there. Like you've got no idea. But no, perfect. Paul, talk to us about you and your role.
Yeah, good morning. So Paul Cheers, I've been with Travel Counsellors coming up 2 months now. I was previously working for the consultancy firm, working for the Nissan Global Customer Experience team, and I was reached out to by Chris and John Bauer, the CTO. And interviewed with them, completely sold by the vision that they put forward, really excited by the opportunity to come and be part of this. And here I am, and I'm pleased to report that so far, 2 months in nearly, that definitely made the right decision. So all good.
That's good to hear, and I'm sure that's a bit of a relief to Chris hearing that as well.
Yeah, very pleased every day.
But no, perfect. It's lovely to have you both. I've been working closely with Chris for a few months, and Paul, I know we've spoken quite a bit recently, so it's definitely nice to have you guys on here. I suppose firstly, for anyone listening, I've personally heard of Travel Counsellors before, but that's due to me studying travel at college mainly. So I guess for those who haven't heard of Travel Counsellors, who are you and kind of what it is do you do?
Travel Counsellors was and still is a pioneering home working travel franchise based in Manchester. We entrepreneurial founded in 1994. We're now private equity backed. And what we do is we provide a personal travel service for both business and leisure travellers. We've got 6 territories globally. We have now just under 2,000 franchisees globally. Pre-pandemic, just to give you an idea of the scale of the business, pre-pandemic, our turnover was about £650 million. Our business is all about personal relationships. That's what we do. Our travel counsellors have very personal relationships with their customers. They get to know them so that they can tailor make their travel for them, be that business or leisure travel, as I say. We have then a real community feel and personal relationships with our travel counsellors and with each other as colleagues. So it's very much, it's all about personal relationships is who we are. And our vision as a business is to redefine what personal means in the travel space.
Amazing. And I think that's the edge at the minute, isn't it, that a lot of the successful businesses are having is actually that personalised approach to it now.
Yeah, and it's interesting. So you're right. Everybody is talking about how does digital work with personal to give you that truly digital and personal experience. And it's funny because in 1994, that's what our founder did. And it was the advent of new technology that enabled him to do this. He wanted to stand up a second travel business, and the mobile phones came along, laptops came along, and suddenly you could do this from home with all the technology to support support this. So this has actually always been a personal business right from day one that was enabled by tech. The founder was David Speakman. He was an entrepreneur based in Bolton, and he had an existing travel agency, but he was looking to he saw the opportunity that personal service and technology combined could give, and here we are 27 years later with
amazing,
a very big business, but founded on exactly that ideal of personal and digital working together.
Yeah, and obviously, you know, the last 18 months in travel has just been horrendous for a lot of people, hasn't it? Not just travel, the whole world in general. But I guess for you guys as a business, you guys personally, how have you found the last 18 months?
It's interesting, we talk about it a lot, don't we? But I use a visual. So when we're talking about it internally, I use a visual of a meteor hitting the planet to describe what our 2020 was like. Because you're right, it's been really, really tough. As a travel business, though, we're used to dealing with crises. So supplier failures, think Thomas Cook and Monarch and business like that, terrorism, conflicts, recessions, ash clouds, whatever it might be. We're used to dealing with crises, which was a massive help. But we've never faced anything like this. No one has, have we? So to begin with, we flipped the whole business into triage mode, which we had to do because if you remember back to March, April 2020, everyone had to be repatriated back to UK by April the 18th. And we had thousands of customers overseas. So that was the first big challenge. And then it was about managing the existing bookings. So pre-pandemic, we would normally cancel about 1% of our bookings. Now then we had to suddenly cancel 100% of our bookings.
Wow.
So really tough, very tough for our travel counsellors, say, who had to go through all that to change bookings. And obviously now they've amended bookings for some customers 2, 3, 4 times. So yeah, a really, really difficult time. But once we got through that initial period, then it allowed us to take stock. I guess how we've got through it is we've put a huge emphasis on looking after our people. So, talk about the business is about personal, but our customers, our travel counsellors and our colleagues, particularly for our travel counsellors and our colleagues, we put a big emphasis on mental health and mental well-being.
Yeah.
Our travel counsellors, they are self-employed franchisees. They work from home mostly. So although we are a community and we always say you're never alone, it's a tough time for everybody, as you say, irrespective of what you do for a living, both personally and professionally, it's been tough. So we spent a lot of focus on that, on a well-being, because suddenly everybody was working at home. We weren't at the office able to literally put an arm around people. So spent a lot of time on that. Also financial welfare and well-being for our colleagues and our travel counsellors. And no one could have predicted the pandemic or where it would take us, but as we're coming out of it, we're actually coming out of it with our brand enhanced. We've had a lot of high-profile media coverage because of how we've looked after our customers. So, Money Saving Expert did surveys last summer about how travel companies have handled customers' cancellations and refunds, and we came top of that national survey 3 times out of 3. And there've been other elements to that as well. But so we're coming out with our brand in better shape and more enhanced and more well known than it was. Brilliant. We've got more travel counsellors, believe it or not, than we had in March 2020. We've had some leave, but we've had more join the business. We've gotten a more efficient business because of the stuff we're going to chat about today in terms of the digital transformation and process improvement. We all know there's a huge pent-up demand. Everybody, I'm looking forward to going on holiday. You're looking forward to going on holiday. Everybody is desperate. So it's not like the market has got away. There's a huge pent-up demand.
Yeah.
And of course, as it's happened, just the way things are shaping up, people need trusted professional travel advice even more than they did so before. So actually, we're coming out of this in great shape. It's not how we've chosen to do it, but we're coming out of it really well prepared. We've got more work to do, but we're really well prepared. And although it's been something to say that really hit us and hit the whole industry hard, we've come through it. We're not quite out the end yet, but we've come through it well.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's what's so exciting, that it's kind of similar for us here, going into it, we thought, it would only be a couple of weeks and it'll be fine, it'll blow over. And yeah, like obviously we just have to adapt as a business, and you just have to change, and rather than sitting around wondering, why is this happening? You just move on, and it's for us personally, it's made us a better recruitment business as well. And obviously it's great that you guys have come out on the other end even better. And I don't know if, I think it was Paul that you spoke to me about this, where you guys at now is miles ahead than where you would have been if the pandemic wouldn't have happened. I think someone told to me about that. So that's just
it was part of the vision that Chris sold me, you know, the business model. They really just did the business model, didn't they, Chris? To make sure that they could get through the pandemic. And actually anything other than, you know, any foreign travel is over and above what they'd mapped out for the rest of this year. And we all know, you know, I didn't tell you I'm going away on holiday next week. I'm telling everybody. People are traveling abroad already, so they're already ahead of the curve on that one, which is great.
I guess, Paul, for you, from your side, coming into the business, pretty much towards the end of the last 18 months, obviously you was in another business at the beginning of the pandemic. I guess, what was your reservations going into, you know, handing your notice in to then decide, yes, I'm going to go to Travel Counsellors?
I wanted to progress professionally. I'd reached the point in my career where I really wanted to expand my PO experience. I wanted to work with tangible products. Travel was exciting. You know, I'd worked with previous colleagues at the company before, Travel Counsellors, and one of my colleagues there said, "Oh yeah, travel's brilliant. It's this, that, and the other, and it's dead interesting, and oh, you'll love it," and really sold it. And then when I spoke to Chris and John, our CTO, I came away from the interview and I was just sold instantly accepted their offer. But yeah, it was just that feeling. Chris talked earlier about how, you know, the company makes it personal, and they live and breathe that ethos right throughout the company. Everybody that I've met since I've arrived here has been superb, very welcoming, very supportive. I can't genuinely, and this is not because Chris is saying you're still on probation, sunshine, be careful. Genuinely, from the heart, they've been mega supportive, and you know, I'm getting up every day and can't wait to come to work, and I'm in early. I'm trying to work on beating Chris in the office, but I've only managed that a couple of times. But yeah, it's just the vision and their passion, and they live and breathe it right from, you know, everybody in head office right the way down to the travel counsellors.
Perfect. And I guess to anyone listening to this who, you know, has maybe got reservations about going into the travel industry or applying for roles with companies in travel, especially if they're seeing travel counsellors and as a potential opportunity, what would you say to them guys at the moment? Don't.
I was there. I had a conversation with Chris where I considered pulling out. I think Chris, wasn't it? It was we were expecting Bojo to announce that they were putting loads of countries on the green list, and it never happened. And I instantly phoned Chris the next day and went, "Yeah, I'm not sure about this. You know, where's that?" And that's when he went into detail about the business model. And I'd already been smart about it and looked at financial accounts on Companies House. And Chris talked about, you know, the £650 million business, and they were pushing for £1 billion pre-pandemic. But yeah, those reservations were quickly dispelled once I arrived. You know, they're allowing me and supporting me to progress professionally, exactly what I wanted. I'm helping shape both the product team and the business as to how they deliver the digital transformation. I'm just, say so busy, I don't want to frighten people off. I am so busy, but it's good, so busy. You know, there's we probably have some of us have had times in our career where you're just busy fools, or it's busy twiddling thumbs, however you want to phrase it, and you're thinking, all right, what's next? But I'm quite happy doing this. There's none of that for me, and that is exceptionally motivating for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say don't have any reservations. I had the discussions with Chris, did my background research. If you come into it blind, then yeah, you're never going to know any better. But I did my research, had a good chat with Chris, and I'm pleased to say that everything he told me, I've realised was spot on, right on the money when I arrived. So he wasn't just dressing it up for me.
Perfect.
I think from my point of view is the proof points are right there. So Paul said, you know, he quite rightly did his research for the business. You know, I've talked about that money saving expert stuff, but that's just a small part of it. And your own instinct, if you say, we talked about it, we're all desperate to go on holiday. Everybody you meet is desperate to travel, and it's a fact that as I said, it's very complicated now. It's very complex. So you do need help to get guidance through all the regulations and the testing and so on. But it is all doable. The proof points are there to say the market is the key thing. The market hasn't gone away. The market is not just there, but it's massively pent up, as we all know. There's a lot of people who have actually saved money because we haven't been able to go anywhere, do anything, and so there is definitely a huge opportunity out there. And as I say, we've come through it with our business model, our resources, our travel counsellors, and everything else, not only intact but enhanced. So I think travel itself is going to come back really quickly, and once the restrictions start to lift, travel.
I think are we able to share what Jim was talking about yesterday? He was saying that the demand for 2022 holidays is 4 times what it was previously. That's proof in the pudding.
I'm not surprised. Like to go somewhere in the UK, it's triple to go abroad at the moment.
Exactly. That's why I'm going abroad. Did I tell you? I'm going next week.
Where are you going again?
You're okay.
Our forward sales for 2022 are you say 3 or 4 times what they would have been pre-pandemic, and some of that obviously is because lots of some people aren't traveling this year or don't know if they're going to get travel this year, so it's something to look forward to, isn't it? But it just shows that the demand is there, and that travel will come back. And say this business has proven itself through failures, terrorism, or ash clouds, all kinds of things. Has proven in the past. We've got a 25-year plus track record of coming back faster and stronger than even the most other travel businesses, and that's what we expect to be the case this time.
And we're only going to help with that in the digital product team, because as Chris, I'm fond of using Chris's words and redefining what makes travel personal using digital solutions, and to be part of that in a business that has adopted technology but can do so much better. We're coming in and we're enhancing that, and we're taking the business along in the journey and defining the vision and putting the framework in place to deliver that, and deliver it quickly. And then from there, we've already talked about the business volumes increasing. We fingers crossed, touch wood, but we're going to soar, because that's ultimately our goal. We're going to enhance that even further.
Yeah, that's it. Everyone's always want to go away. That's never ever going to change.
I think
touch wood, never say never these days, but that realistically is not going to change, is it? People like to go abroad, the sun, and
all day long. And I think the situation we find ourselves in with the pandemic, if anybody's got any reservations, like we touched on earlier, don't. We want good talent working here to help us drive this vision forward. And the figures are there. You're only going to help us enhance, deliver that service to our customers, our end customers. So any reservations, don't reach out to us. So contact one of us on LinkedIn. I'll sit and talk to anybody all day long. And I'll be very open and honest. Chris will tell you I'm very open and honest, and if something's on my mind, I'll get it out there. So feel free to contact us.
Yeah, best way to be, isn't it? So just in terms of then we've talked a little bit already then about this digital transformation, and to some people out there, that's a term that they know. I guess to others who are just listening due to the company, I guess briefly, what does a digital transformation mean for you guys? And then just to follow on from that, apologies for the double barrel question if anyone's listening from Maxwell Bond, but what does that look like to you guys, and how is this digital transformation going to change travel counsellors?
I think, listen, business is about managing change, isn't it? That's what we're all here to do. We're problem solvers who manage change. And again, I come back to the core of our business. We're still an entrepreneurial business. It's one of our values, is that entrepreneurial side of it. So we're a business that's evolved and adapted for over 25 years. So we love change. We embrace it. It's a very fast-paced, constantly changing business. And digital transformation at the end of the day is just change on a grand scale, isn't it? And when we talk about it internally, we talk about it, clearly we've got a digital transformation program. But really, we talk about it as just change. That's what it is. And I mentioned, you know, we've talked about with us, it's personal, and that's very much our ethos. What we do with that in terms of can I say DT instead of digital transformation? So that's how that saves me saying the full phrase every time. So when we talk about DT, we use that as a sanity check. So basically every project, every initiative that we work on, we ask the question, is this making it more personal for either the end user or for a travel counsellor? And if it's not, then why are we doing it? Because it's a way of keeping the digital transformation to stop being something that's theoretical or very kind of methodology based, and clearly there's a methodology behind it, but keeping it real and keeping it authentic to our business and our business values is really, really important to us, and that's one of the ways that we do that. But what it is changing is, to your point, is, you know, it's changing some of our processes. It's helping us to replace legacy tech, so legacy thinking, and ways of working. And from a tech perspective, to get into it, we're also implementing scaled agile for the first time. We're moving from Scrum, true product ownership, and that's what people like Paul are here to help us to do. And we're also working for the first time with offshore development resource to give us that flexible increased capacity. And what we're trying to do is as well as digitally transforming the businesses, we're investing in trying to create the best product and software engineering community that we can. We aspire to be the best in the Northwest and ultimately the UK of a tech function. That's what we've set our sights on. And so the digital transformation is not just about changing the business; it's about changing ourselves and how we work, but absolutely always staying true to our business values and our core meaning. And to the second point of your double barrel question, it's about what will it change? It's about making us more efficient and more effective. But the name of the game is so that our travel counsellors have an even better world-beating platform to build their businesses on.
Perfect. And just for anyone listening, I only said that double barrel because we've just had training on it this morning, so that's why I made a joke out of it. But yeah, so digital transformation is one of those buzzwords that a lot of companies have either been through or they're going through, and they're not something small. They take years to really truly get from fully end to end. I guess it's going to change every 6 months when you actually look at where you come to, what you've got left to do. But at the minute, when do you think the digital transformation will be completed at TC?
Oh, wow. That's an interesting question, as you say, because you're never done. But when do you stop calling it digital transformation and start calling it BAU or normal projects? We certainly, with how we've structured our DT and the core themes within that, I'd say we've probably got at least 3 years worth of work in that. But those projects, one of our first things, we're putting a new community platform live today for our travel counsellors. So again, replacing some legacy tech. We had some message boards and Yammer and different ways for that community. We have a phenomenal community, but actually the tech that was supporting that interaction was a little bit fragmented. So we're launching a new community platform today. So that is one of our digital transformation projects, one of the smaller ones probably, but it's one that is completing now. So it will just be a rolling stages of completing individual projects and initiatives. But certainly the roadmap as it sits at the moment it's got at least 2 years worth of work on it for sure. But as you say, it's continually evolving. The whole point of being agile and everything else is that we will pivot and shape it in how it needs to be to serve the business. Perfect.
And you mentioned obviously one of the things is going into true product ownership, and obviously that's why Paul, you've came to Travel Counsellors and the agile environment, and using scaled agile, so the SAFe methodology. Where did that come around? How come that was decided as the methodology?
I think it was just part of that, looking at that what would be right for this business. When you take in any agile methodology, you always look for how can you take in the very best of the methodology and best practice, but how do you shape it so that it's right in your business and it lands in your business? And I think with Scaled Agile, because it's a business-wide approach, it's not just something that happens in the tech team or happens in the product and development team. And I think that, you know, we've probably all seen that where businesses have dropped Scrum or Kanban or XP, whatever it might be, and it's something that the techies do, and everybody else just carries on doing what they were doing. So a big driver for our Scaled Agile was to embed it business-wide, and alongside that product ownership that I said, that true product ownership, so that is, and part of my remit and all of us as a product team is to embed that product thinking right across the entire business.
Yeah, and that's an exciting topic in itself. Obviously, Paul, we're having doing a little roundtable on that tomorrow, aren't we, about how to actually get external wider stakeholders on board into that product thinking mindset, because that's the new digital transformation at the moment, is that product-centric thinking and turning it into a product-centric delivery business versus project delivery. So definitely watch this space on that. It's going to be an exciting topic over the next few years. I think a lot of businesses will be speaking about, so it's good that you guys are already on the forefront and are already looking at doing that and starting to embed that into travel counsellors. I guess from your side, Paul, then obviously you've come in less than 2 months now and straight into this huge digital transformation with so much work, you know, a roadmap of 2 years at least at the minute. You know, how have you felt coming into this?
Brilliant. I said before, you know, you come into any new job with anxieties, you're excited, but you got your anxieties. You know, we talked earlier about my concerns regarding the travel industry. Where was it going to go? But since arriving, those fears have been taken away. You know, you like a bit of time to get to know the business, how it works. But I was literally, with the support of Chris and John, given the support, and immediately John jokingly said to me, "Oh, we took you to the edge of the diving board and we pushed you in, but you didn't sink, you've swum." And yes, they did. They went, "Right, there's a bucket load of work. Can we get on with it?" But I've had nothing but support along the way, yeah, I just love it. Like I said before, I'm at the point now where I love getting up and coming into work, and I'm quite happy to sit and work into the evenings and get stuff done. And it's just been really, really exciting.
Yeah.
And as I said, the support has been second to none from everybody.
And it's great for me to say, because say, listen, we had a sizable software development function here before, and you know, and it helped power the growth of the business over a long period of time. But I think bringing in that mindset of true product ownership, people like Paul coming into the business with external experience and adding that to the culture and the knowledge and everything that's great about travel counsellors, it's been fantastic. And so we've brought in Paul and you know, a couple of other product owners and some other skill sets as well. But yeah, adding that in is really enriching us, but we need it. We need people who bring that external experience, who have done, whether it's Scaled Agile or you know, just experienced product owners who know how to come in and, as Paul said, hit the ground running. They know their stuff. We'll teach them travel. We'll teach them the culture of travel counsellors, so that it's a fantastic place to be. But we want people with those experiences to add to the skill sets we've already got.
And if you're a focused individual, which I'd like to think I am, but you're approachable, easygoing, you'll fit in really, really well here. You know, I've hit it off brilliantly with Chris, and you know, the rest of the team. I don't for 1 minute.
How come I'm not going to Mallorca next week? Then what's happening?
But though they've been brilliant, and everybody around the business is just amazingly welcoming. They're passionate, they're supportive. It sounds like fairy tale stuff, but genuinely, from the heart, that's exactly how it is here. And I know that I've made the right decision by coming here. And as I say, to grow professionally. So if there are other product owners, we know the product owner market is really buoyant at the moment. You know, I was looking at other positions outside of travel counsellors before coming here. But this was the right one. There was something about it, and just going in and speaking to Chris, and then since being here,
you should be a recruiter, Paul. You're really selling travel counsellors.
Thank you. But no, I mean that's right. Chris,
if you want a different career progression.
Not to, I have to be careful because his head will get too big now. But but he's found it easy to come in and sit in because of his temperament as well, and his personality. Because you know, I've talked a lot about culture and personal, but it's really important to us that we're very proud of it and we're very protective of it. So it's not right for everybody, quite frankly, but for people who get it and want to be a part of something like this, it is a fantastic place to be and place to work. And I say the reason that Paul has hit the ground running so quickly and been so successful is down to as much to him and his approach as it is to the business. And the business is here to give him all the support. But he's like a duck to water with us. He's just a great fit for the business.
Perfect.
Yeah. I mean, some of the stuff that we've come across, we've implemented a new product management system, AHA, and I'd only briefly come across that in my previous role, and Chris and John very quickly said, you know, what have you used before? Well, I mean, you know, we've seen sight of this before, and I was dead honest and upfront with them, not had a great deal of use, but they gave me the free reins to explore it, do all the cost analysis, implement it, support it, deliver it, and we're now using it. There's still some way to go because we're in very early days, but it's having that, it's a breath of fresh air that I've never had before. Well, there you go, get on with it, and you're like, all right, okay. Some people might sink, but if you got the right mindset, you'll grab it with both hands, run with it, and get the support. I think John, our CTO, described. I keep saying John, our CTO, don't I? Everybody knows I'm talking about John now. So John described it the other day. We'll allow you to fail, but we won't let you fall very far. And it's a learning curve. And it is perfect words to describe how we are here.
That is such an important leadership quality, to actually allow your team to be confident that if they fail, they're not going to get sacked or seen the door. That's one thing that I love about here, is that's exactly what it's like here. Like, you can fail over and over and over again, but in them failures is when you learn the most. So then you normally after a failure, you see a growth because you've just learned so much. So that's really good. I guess, Chris, from your side, then, you've been at Travel Counsellors now since 2017, so just under 4 years now. So how has it changed, and kind of what's allowed you to stay here for that long? Because a lot of people leave, you know, naturally 2 or 3 years. So what is it that's made TC special that you're still here and still very happy?
Yeah, it's even more than that. It's 3.5 years, but I actually came in on a 12-month contract. So and now I'm permanent, and I'm here for the duration. So I've done a lot of interim work, and so I didn't intend to stay on, but the business got under my skin, as it does, and that's a big part of it. And it does say, if this is the right place for you, as it says, as it is for Paul, and it is for me. It really does get under your skin. It's such a, listen, it's a great product, isn't it? In terms of the actual, the user product, the travel is a great thing, isn't it? Everyone wants to talk about it, everyone loves it and things. So it's a great thing from that point of view. I say the culture is fantastic, and it's a great business to be in. But we do an exciting thing. So even pre-pandemic, the level of change that we were doing, the initiatives that I came in to do were almost early stage digital transformation, if you like. We didn't call it that at the time, but just bringing some things like journey mapping and a bit more customer centricity into the processes and the thinking. But as I said, there was a lot of change pre-pandemic. There's obviously huge change now. But as I said, the values of the business are absolutely consistent, and that's what's fantastic. I'd say in terms of what I've seen as a change over that 3.5 years, so, pandemic obviously is a big part of that, but it's embracing that product mindset, as we talked about. It's still work in progress, but there's been a big shift. And as Paul says, I've got a lot of catchphrases, but one of the ones that I use most often is outcomes, not outputs. And I can see it's getting better at that every day. And as we said, bringing in product owners and guys like Paul, he's really helping accelerate that. And one of the other things that I'd say it changed just in the business isn't less to do with tech product as such, but it is about tech. It's about how we've adopted social media as a business, as a brand, because the nature of the business model, we don't do above the line marketing. As a brand, a business is built on referrals, and each travel counsellor has their own business that's built on referrals. Social media is referrals on steroids, is how I describe it, and I say how it's been a really big shift for us in how the business and how our travel counsellors have embraced social media and made it work for them. As in a business that was born and created long before social media was. That's again testament to how the business adapts and embraces technology and uses technology as it's supposed to be used, as an enabler to doing what you do and doing it better, not as the reason for it. So our tech will never be the reason why we do stuff. It will always be an enabler to enhance, we've talked about those personal relationships, and to make us better and give us better tools and better tech to do that, but always with that that kind of North Star of we're making it more personal.
Perfect.
To add to that, something I was going to pick up before, my time here, if like me, there are product owners out there who are looking for the next challenge, develop themselves professionally, like myself. If you've experienced travel from booking your own holiday to getting there, dealing with it, the whole experience, end-to-end journey, even if you're not in that domain, I worked previously a lot of it in finance. If you've worked in other domains, this is quite easy to pick up.
Yeah.
Because of the support that we've got there, everybody can relate to it. I always said that I want to work with tangible products, and these things you can relate to it, you can understand it, you can be passionate about it. And something that I'd said to you, as a product owner, you are your product's biggest advocate. If you can't use it or you won't use it, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
And I want to be able to envision me using this product, the booking and payment journey that we're working on, end to end, and being proud of it. So, but yeah, if anybody else is out there and thinking of a change in direction, I think travel's a great thing to get into.
Oh, you just love plugging that, don't you?
I do. And I'm not being paid for it. Well, I am being paid, but not any extra anyway. But yeah, no, it is. It's I speak from the heart, so.
Perfect. And I guess obviously with this product team then, obviously it's something new to travel counsellors. Obviously, Paul, you've come in, I know you've got a few others already on the site as well. So I guess what's the plan for this product team over the next few years?
Well, as you said, it's still very early days, very early days for us to kind of shape it, and it will be shaped very much by us as a team and by the individuals. Paul said, that's how we like to work. So it's still very much evolving. But I guess like all good product teams, our aspiration is to be established right at the center of the business as the go-to for helping the business to dream big in terms of what can be done and what we can do. And then I think it's probably what excites all people who work in product, is to be that translator, that collaborator for those who are old enough, that babelfish that kind of takes what the business wants or thinks that it wants almost, and shape what that solution is, help them to dream big, and then work with the software development teams and to then bring that to life and deliver it, and then see that value as it goes out the door, and then continuously improve it. So yeah, I think it's being established right at the center of the business as that, say, help dream big and then drive the evolution of the platform with the business. And I think any product owners or product managers, product teams, that's what gets you up in the morning, isn't it? It's the idea that you're involved in something that you look back on, but you take it right from idea and inception right through to deliver and keep improving it.
Perfect. And I suppose anyone obviously coming into travel counsellors, obviously the next 6 to 12 months are vital to the success of this product team and getting agile and PO embedded into the business. What should they expect to be doing within that first 6 to 12 months?
Lots, I think, from what Paul said. I make no apologies for keep coming back to the culture, but yeah, understand the culture, understand our almost unique business model, and then show us what you can do. As Paul said, we want people who can come and express themselves. So work with our internal stakeholders and end users and our development colleagues to deliver the digital transformation, but also to bring their own experience and their knowledge to make it better. I think that's a big part of it. And say this is a new function for us as a business, but it's really evolving what we've always done. It's just doing it in a slightly different way, and hopefully in helping us to be more effective and to do it faster and better.
Yeah,
and that's quite a good point that Chris has made.
Yeah,
and that's how I feel, that they've allowed me to express myself, be myself, bring my own personality to it. I've had jobs where I've felt almost like being sat up on, and I just want to, oh no, just stay with it. No, but I'm not getting any of that here. They allow me to express myself, and we talked about that they've said and stated that they'll allow us to fail, but they won't let us fall too far. They'll provide us with the tools and the skills to enhance ourselves, because they know it's going to pay back into the business. But yeah, and they are.
I absolutely love that quote about the fact. That is a brilliant quote, and I think that's a really good message.
Put that on me notes then. I don't think I put that one on, did I?
But I guess obviously travel counsellors, we spoke a lot about the culture, and from my side, when I've done the recruitment, I know one of the key things is that they say to us, please send this culture book, send all this information, because they really want people to get that feel for what travel counsellor is before they come in, and then it just sort of, when you come in, it confirms what your conception is. I guess if you had to describe culture, because it's a word that's being thrown around a lot at the moment. It's definitely one of these new things that people want. They always say, I just want someone with a good culture. I hate the word good before any word, because good looks different in different businesses. What looks good to me might look bad to you guys. What does actual good look like? So I suppose if someone said to you, what does the culture look like at Travel Counsellors, how would you describe it?
Sparkling.
Well, I could talk for an hour about that, because it is so central to who we are and what we do. And you're right, it's really interesting. I've done obviously a lot of interviewing recently, and when you said people, not everybody says the same thing, but things that people commonly want. They want somewhere, you're right, they say, with a culture that they can really feel part of and feel welcomed, and they want to be empowered. Those are the two things, certainly in all these product roles and across the wider product team. That's what people are looking for, and that is why, as you said, we're attracting a lot of talent and a lot of attention, I guess. So what does culture mean to us? It's about care, and that's another one of those where people say, well, everybody says they care, but actually travel counsellors, the individual travel counsellors themselves, and by inference the business, demonstrate that on a daily basis. So all the stuff we've talked about saying, Paul's really welcoming the business and a great thing, and all the stuff around the office, and that, but the whole business is built on personal relationships and care. So when we say with us it's personal, that's our strap line and that's our DNA and redefined thing. These, as Paul has said, these are not, I think probably the difference between mission, vision, values and culture is when you actually really, really mean it, and everyone can tell that you mean it. As you said, you've worked with us for a couple of months, and you can see it and feel it and touch it. And okay, it's not always easy to define, but you know it when you feel it, because actually you feel that we are genuine and authentic. And I think, and
the best way to describe it.
And I think that warmth and that authenticity and genuine is probably as good a way to sum it up as any. You say, for us, we describe it as personal relationships, as genuinely caring. We use the word community a lot, because our travel counsellors are a community of 2,000 individuals worldwide. And even if you've got two travel counsellors on the same street, they don't actually compete with each other, because they have their own networks and their own businesses. They help each other and they support each other. And that's what people find really strange when they come in the door is kind of, and new travel counsellors going on board say, well, who am I going to be competing with? Say, not another travel counsellor, because that's not how we work. So it is about relationships, about care, about warmth, as Paul says, but it's about being authentic. You've got to live it and breathe it. It's not just sticking it on a wall. And I think that's where say things like brand and vision and values and so on, where they become culture, is where everybody gets it and everybody just naturally embraces it and displays it. It's when it's just part of your ingrained behaviour.
Perfect. And I suppose, slightly off topic, I'm sure this is a question that everyone listening is dying to know. Do you get discounts on holidays as part of your benefits package?
No, it's the correct answer. Well, not in that way, but it depends. There are some offers that do get made available to us, but it's about. But no, it's not a straight up benefit thing. I'm sorry to say. But what I do have is a travel counsellor. So the benefit comes in a different way, in that I've got a travel counsellor who books our family holidays for us. She's fantastic. And do you know what? You talk about benefits. I had 3 holidays booked in for 2020, and I didn't have to worry about them. I didn't have to take care of them. She did the haggling with EasyJet and the haggling with Ryanair, and got a refund on a property that we booked. And Paul would have liked it. It was in Mallorca. So yeah, that's where the real value, I guess, is. Now the beauty is you don't have to work here to have a travel counsellor, but yeah, quick answer is discounted holidays part of the benefit package? No, it isn't. But once you're here and you understand the system, we are able to access some offers, but it's not a core part of the benefits package. So,
well, it kind of is a benefit, because I swear me and my partner have more arguments deciding where we're going on holiday than we probably do about anything else. So that is a kind of a benefit, because they take that pressure off you.
Yeah, and that's what the travel counsellors do. Yeah, come up with some basic requirements.
Someone else to blame if you look at it that way, but yeah, listen, the also is that's where the value is, and you know, one of the misconceptions about travel counsellors is that it's got it, when people look at it and go, oh, would you bet it's really expensive? It's got to be much more expensive than booking direct and booking with a high street travel agency, and it's not. You know, listen, could you go and find a hotel room in Barcelona tonight, you know, £5 cheaper maybe than a travel counsellor gives you, potentially, because the internet is the internet. But when it comes to actually putting holidays together, it's not more expensive to book with a travel counsellor, and it's but it's less about that. It's more about, say, that value, especially at the minute, that value and reassurance. But as I say, listen, 3 holidays booked last year. Didn't have to think about it, didn't have to worry about it, didn't have to fill out forms, didn't have to try and get through to a contact centre. You know, your travel counsellor is, sorry, this is an ad now, but your travel counsellor is your one point of contact. You're not talking to a bank of people, you're talking to one individual who knows you, knows what you've booked, know why you booked it, know what your kids like to do and what you like to do. And but yeah, that's the beauty of having a travel counsellor. And I say, clearly you don't have to work here to have one, but it's an even more special relationship when you work here and you have a travel counsellor.
Yeah, and that's, you know, I think a lot of people resonate with that, the frustrations of last year. And this is no, you know, that's nothing against the other travel companies, not at all. They had to do what they needed to do. But, you know, trying to get through to contact centres, a lot of them eliminated contact centres so they weren't getting bombarded, and, you know, having to wait around for refunds and refund processes and the terms and conditions and all the small fine prints that you didn't really realise would actually come into force. So I think, like as me as an individual, I know I will personally moving forward, I will probably want to use travel counsellors to, if this ever happened again, that is a headache that I do not have to deal with, because I think that took up a lot of people's time.
Yeah, it did, and funny, something that we probably I should have mentioned when Paul was saying about, you know, when he was asking questions about, you know, this is travel's been badly hit, how is your business? One of the other things that's different about this business, not unique, there are other travel companies who do this, but not many. We have a customer trust fund, so all of the money goes into a trust fund and doesn't get released until the trip happens. So people's money is completely protected. So from a customer point of view, that's great. But more back to the point of our conversation, what it means is that we don't use customers' money to run the business. Never have, never will. Wow. And so And that's, again, what has been really important in getting us through this and getting stage one. Say that customers are very, very confident that we're not say running the business using their money, and therefore they won't be able to get a refund. Say it's all held in trust, and say obviously people who want refunds get refunds, or credit notes or forward bookings, whatever they want. But yeah, that financial protection is really, really important, and it goes hand in hand. You know, we've talked a lot about the culture of us as a business and internally. From a customer point of view, when you say to your customers, you know, what's the, you know, list of top 10 great things about having a travel counsellor doing that, trust comes really, really high on that. And that's both they trust the travel counsellor to get it right for them and to give them enough difficulty, but also they know deep down that you know, if push comes to shove, they know that their money is protected.
Well, that's always a relief, isn't it, to know that. More than anything. I guess to sort of wrap this up quickly then, I always like to do this, especially if it's on a certain topic or anything, but predictions in 5 years' time, if you had to look back, where do you think travel counsellors will be?
I think we'll be a £1 billion turnover business that has redefined what personal travel means. We won't be as well kept a secret as we are today, and we'll probably be helping. Pretty sure we'll be helping over 3,000 travel counsellors to build their business by wowing their customers. And I think, say as a product team, we will be right at the heart of that. We will be both working with our development colleagues as well, but we'll be the enablers and the engine room to make that happen.
Perfect. And I guess, Paul, for you, obviously you're still so new to not to Maxwell Bond, that's me, new to travel counsellors. Where do you see your career going in the next 5 years?
Well, I'm waiting for Chris to retire, and then I'll have his job. But no, Chris touched on it before from his own personal point of view, and didn't go into it in great detail. But you know, I can see myself being here like Chris can for the long term. I never say never, but I'm happy here. The product's exciting. The travel industry, everybody can relate to. Yeah, I think somebody said to me, it was actually my brother-in-law, and he said to me, if you find the job that you love, you'll never work again. And I've said to Chris this already. I think I've found that here. So yeah, it's the future's exciting. So yeah, maybe progress my way up the product team. Who knows? Maybe get Chris's job. But yeah, there's no immediate. I'm just enjoying my time at the moment. And settling in. But yeah, obviously I want to progress. The reason I came here is to progress myself professionally. And I want to continue to do that. I'm not getting any younger, as you can tell by the grey hairs, but yeah, it's exciting.
Perfect. Well, thank you. Obviously, that was a lovely way to end it. Obviously, thanks to both of you for taking the time to speak with me today and, you know, talking about all things travel counsellors. Obviously, thanks to everyone who's actually listening into this special episode of the Trusted Tech Talks podcast with myself and then obviously Chris and Paul. If you like what you heard today about travel counsellors and you think, do you know what, that's the place for me, I want to find out more, please drop me a message on LinkedIn. As we said earlier, we're their exclusive talent partners. Anything about joining that business, please let us know and we can help you out through there, and even introduce you to the guys if you want a product job. So plus make sure you also don't miss out on any future or past episodes by following Trusted Tech Talks on LinkedIn and Spotify.